Hello, and welcome to another edition of Day Drinking with Kevin. I'm your host, Kevin McGuire. And the other day at the restaurant, one of our customers came in and said, "Kevin, I love your episode on fast foods, and I really enjoyed your episode on pairing wine with Chipotle. But I'm a big fan of the restaurant CAVA. Could you please do a wine pairing with the foods from CAVA?" And I began to think about it, and I'm like, yes. Pairing wine with Mediterranean food provides an entirely complex situation. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what wines pair with CAVA. First, I want to take just a minute to thank my daughter Ashley for making me this wonderful Day Drinking with Kevin t-shirt. She loves CAVA, so I hope she enjoys what we have to say about pairing wines with different CAVA dishes. When you go into CAVA, you're greeted by many choices, not the least of which is, do you want a bowl, a salad, or a pita? Next, you have to choose the protein, whether that be beef or lamb or vegetarian or chicken. And then there are a variety of different toppings to be added to that. And each one of these choices produces a layer that you have to account for when pairing with the wine. So let's talk about our vegetarian options first. When pairing wine with vegetarian foods, the things that come to mind are easy. Rosé goes perfectly well with vegetarian meals. Second, think about things like Rieslings from Germany, or maybe even from Australia. And if you really want to go off the wall, try a Chenin Blanc from either South Africa or the Loire Valley. All of those will go perfectly with the vegetarian option. When we talk about the chicken option, there's also a couple different ways we can go. Certainly, you could have a Chardonnay, and that's going to go really, really well. Other opportunities include Verdicchio from Italy, or possibly Albarino from Spain. Each one of these will pair very, very well with the different layers that the chicken bowl has to offer. When talking about lamb, my go-to there is Zinfandel. The bright, rich, jammy feeling that the Zinfandel gives you pairs perfectly with the lamb. And the feta cheese and everything just kind of really marry together to make a magical experience. If you're looking for other options, think things like Syrah, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon. All of these will go perfectly with the lamb option. And finally, we have the beef dish. With beef, there are so many different ways we can go, from the Zinfandel again, to a Petite Syrah, possibly a Nebbiolo, or a big, bold Cabernet, either like a left bank Cabernet from Bordeaux or a California Cab. Either one of those will go perfectly with the beef dish. So now let's talk about the toppings that you have, because that's going to make a difference too. The more toppings that you put on the bowl or the pita are going to allow different layers of complexity, and we want to kind of keep those in mind. The spicier you make something might mean that you might want to have a wine that is off-dry. For example, with our Chenin Blanc, if I made my bowl or my pita very spicy, I might want to try an off-dry Vouvray or an off-dry Riesling. And that little bit of sweetness in the wine will help kind of balance the heat in the dishes. If I'm talking about the acidity of the feta, or I'm talking about the acidity of the other components in the dishes, sometimes a wine that is equally acidic also helps pair very well. So things like that Albarino from Spain, a Pinot Grigio from Italy, go very, very well with those choices. Another fun pairing with the tzatziki or some of the yogurt-based sauces are sparkling wines like CAVA, Francoforte, or sparkling wines from California. Each of these will pair very, very well with the creaminess of the sauces and go incredibly well with things like the chicken dish, or if you're adding seafood to this. Some of the other choices that CAVA has to offer are pickled onions, jalapenos, avocado. Each one of these also gives you a very unique opportunity to pair with the toppings as well. Whether you choose to get the lettuce version or the one with rice, these are really good opportunities to explore some wines that maybe you haven't tried before. Thank you so much for listening about pairing wine with Mediterranean food. I hope you learned something. Next week's episode is pairing wine with duck donuts. I can't wait for that. So until next time, this is Kevin McGuire saying, salute.